Here is a question that sounds simple and isn't. For thousands of years, the biggest cities on earth were death traps. People poured into them and quietly died faster than they were born. And then, in the space of a few decades, that reversed. Cities became places you could survive. No single famous cure explains it. The thing that did was so unglamorous that we have hidden it underground and refused to speak of it. Hold that question, what changed? And I will give you the answer at the very end. For most of history, a city's waste had nowhere to go. It sat in cesspits, ran in the streets, and seeped into the very wells people drank from. The result was a cycle so ordinary that no one questioned it. Filth in, disease out. Cholera and typhoid did not feel like failures of engineering. They felt like fate, the simple price of living close together. And the experts had the wrong explanation. Educated people were certain that disease came from bad air, foul smells drifting off the filth, a poison they called miasma. It seemed obvious. The stench and the sickness traveled together. But the smell was a symptom, not the cause, and chasing the smell sent cities in exactly the wrong direction for decades. Then, in 1854, a London doctor named John Snow did something new. When cholera erupted around Broad Street, he mapped the deaths house by house and watched them cluster around a single public water pump. The killer was not in the air, it was in the water. He had the handle of the pump removed, and the outbreak became the case that slowly changed everything. But knowing was not the same as acting. What finally forced it 4 years later was not compassion, it was the nose. In the hot summer of 1858, the Thames, by then an open sewer, produced a stench so unbearable that Parliament itself could not sit. Suddenly, the men who controlled the money were personally, physically desperate for a solution. They called it the Great Stink. And here is the part that should impress you. The answer was not a drug or a discovery. It was a network, hundreds of miles of brick sewers engineered to carry a city's waste far away from the water it drank. London built one of the first great modern systems in the 1860s, and city after city copied it. The cure for the deadliest urban diseases turned out to be plumbing. And the payoff is almost impossible to overstate. As sewers and clean water spread, the diseases that had defined city life for millennia began to vanish. Life expectancy climbed. The single biggest driver of that rise, historians of health argue, was not medicine at all. It was sanitation, the boring business of moving waste away from people. And here is what's strange. We built the thing that saved us and then buried it physically and mentally. A sewer is the one piece of vital infrastructure designed never to be seen, smelled, or thought about. We give no awards to it. We name no streets for it. Its entire measure of success is that you get to forget it exists. Now the uncomfortable half. This is still the most unequal system on the planet. Billions of people live without safe sanitation, waste and drinking water still mixing exactly as they did in old London. Poor sanitation remains one of the leading killers of young children in the world. From a disease we defeated over a century ago, we know the cure. It is bricks and pipes. We simply have not laid them everywhere. Which is the quiet truth under every city. A metropolis is not held up only by its towers and its power and its trade. It is held up, first, by an invisible river running the other way beneath it, carrying away what would otherwise kill everyone above. Civilization, at bottom, is a question of where the waste goes. So, back to the question. What turned the city from a death trap into a place you could survive? Not a miracle, not a medicine. The least glamorous system humanity ever built, sewers and drains hidden beneath the street, is the one that made cities survivable at all. That was the answer, waiting underground the whole time.